This episode is sponsored by the Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Rounding out October entertainment is Charlie Crockett on the 18th and Queensryche on the 19th. Plus, don't miss a minute of football season. Join us in the sportsbook with a tailgate party on October 27th. Visit HollywoodCasino.com to see how you can reserve your package. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. The hilarious Damon Wayans stars with his son Damon Wayans Jr. in the new sitcom Papa's House, which premieres tonight on CBS and Paramount+. He called in to preview the show and reflect on his most memorable roles, from In Living Color to Major Payne to My Wife and Kids. Hey, Damon Wayans. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Doing all right, especially now that you're on. We're talking your new sitcom, Papa's House, which premieres tonight on CBS and Paramount+. I know it's the cool thing about this is co-starring with your son, Damon Wayans Jr. We all know him as Coach and New Girl. Love that show. And the Netflix rom-com Players with Gina Rodriguez. He's showing up everywhere, but I'll turn it to you. What's the basic premise of the show? Who do you both play in this thing?
I'm a radio DJ. Morning drive and R&B, and he's very set in his ways. And then corporate brings in a woman played by Essence Atkins to challenge me and to grow the audience. We are the number one show, and I don't understand why. We have this, kind of not say contentious, but we don't like each other, but we'll grow to love each other. And then in the same time, my son moves into the house next door to me, sponsored by his father-in-law, because he wants me to help raise him. He's a bit of a dreamer, and he needs some coaching. Me being divorced, it's a problem with divorce. Kids of divorce, that they lose their, their security, so they become, you miss spot when in terms of shaping them in life. So that's the premise.
I love it. So yeah, that's the premise sort of on paper. But how about like in terms of, the father-son acting chemistry? I mean, this is kind of special. Like to me, I instantly thought of, I guess the new example would be like LeBron and Bronny James on the Lakers. But I go back further. Here in our area, it's Cal Ripken Sr. and Cal Ripken Jr. on the Orioles together. Or I guess the best would be Ken Griffey and Griffey Jr. hitting back-to-back homers on the Mariners. How would you compare to those? Are you more of a Griffey or a Ripken in this one, or LeBron?
I love the idea of LeBron and Bronny, because LeBron seems, he's no doubt one of the greatest to ever play the game, if not maybe the greatest on paper. But the dude seeing stuff in his son that he wants the world to see. He's in the backyard with him shooting, blocking, and throwing alley-oops. He knows what Bronny can do. Now it's up to Bronny to figure out how to show the world what he can do. My son, Junior, too, is, people go, oh, he's Damon's son. They don't know the hard work he put in to be who he is. I do. And so when I'm working with him and I'm looking him in the eye in a scene, I just, I'm able to step back and enjoy him getting off, getting those big laughs. And he has what I used to have, which is physicality, the energy of youth, to be able to do stuff like put his foot over his head and you just go, okay, yeah, I would have done that back in the day. And that hurt.
You can't now. The foot that goes over the head is a little more painful now. That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah. When you say it like this, make me laugh. That's what I tell you. Make me laugh in the same thing. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try and make you break. And if we make each other laugh, then the audience is going to really laugh. Because we're, we know each other. We don't just are laughing at everything we do. But if you're actually trying, I see it in his eyes. When his eyes start to smile, I say, okay.
You're like, I got him. I'm making him break. Your father and son trying to break each other on set. That's magic. Hey, compare. I know this isn't your first sitcom, Dad. I loved watching you in ABC's My Wife and Kids back in the day. What was it, '01 to '05, I think. So compare your parenting style here as this dad, this divorced dad here, to that dad. I guess what was it, Michael? I guess in My Wife and Kids. What's their contrasting parenting styles, man?
My son, on Papa's house, could probably beat my ass. He is, tough with him as I was with the kids on, a wife and kids. They were, babies growing into teens. So, it's a different kind of tough love. This one is more of, in one episode where my son, his son calling him by his first name. I was like, you don't do that. Like my father, I didn't know he had a name. This is tombstone says, "Here lies Sir," because that's how I grew up. Like different types of parenting style, relationships. So it's that kind of stuff.
Right, right. You call me sir. That's how you were raised. Hey, speaking of, I mean, this isn't the first time, obviously, of working with your family. I mean, your whole career. I mean, it got started. I mean, your older brother Keenan Ivory Wayans created In Living Color. So many legendary characters, man. Homie the Clown and Handyman, and there was the flamboyant film critic Blaine Edwards with the Men on Film. Which character do fans come up on the street and quote back to you the most, and which one do you wish they quoted but they don't?
That's interesting. I guess Homie the Clown is one of the most popular. And I get two snaps a lot. They like the guy with big words in prison. Handyman. I don't really, I'm not really listening. I don't care what people really think about the old characters I did.
Yeah.
I say that respectfully. But, it's just nice that people still like what I've done. That's like, I get tickled when people will quote stuff and, oh yeah, I remember when I was funny too.
You still are. By the way, as we speak, today is, as of this recording, my 40th birthday. So will homie come play that?
Happy, man. Beautiful thing.
Hey, I know we're running out of time. I do want to hit some of my favorite movie roles of you. Small parts in Beverly Hills Cop, Hollywood Shuffle, Roxanne. Bigger roles in Gonna Get You Sucker, Last Boy Scout, Blank Man. I love them all, but I want to ask you about Major Payne. If he's still in there, he ain't happy. Was that just a fun riff on those drill sergeants like Gossett Jr. and Officer and Gentleman or Arlie Ermy in Full Metal Jacket? Like, was that your chance to sort of roast those?
No, I was just basically doing a character that I created that I just thought was funny. Just there's a movie called Evil Roy Slade that was directed by Gary Marshall back in like the 80s, 70s, 80s, and it was about a guy who was the meanest, baddest guy in the Wild West, and he was raised by wolves, and he had no idea how to interact with people. All he knew was robbing and and so he meets this woman in a shoe store. So he decides he's going to change his life for her. And he gets a job in the shoe store, and he's trying to get this woman's shoe on, and it won't work because she's kind of a big girl. And so the father comes over and goes, try the shoehorn. So he takes the shoehorn and puts it to her neck and goes, get that shoe on. But it made it pain to be. I want to be a guy who doesn't really know how to interact, and a lot of it is because of, what he's seen in wartime. That's the origin of Major Payne.
Awesome. Thanks for shoehorning that last question in there before we gotta go. There's so many we didn't even have a chance to get to, but special shout out, I guess, to Spike Lee's Bamboozled in 2000. You're a frustrated TV writer creating, an intentionally stereotypical piece of art. I don't think that we would have gotten the Oscar-winning American Fiction last year without Bamboozled. It really paved the way for that. So hey, thank you so much for doing this. It's Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr. going to be father-son in this new sitcom Papa's House. Premieres tonight on CBS and Paramount Plus. Thank you so much. You're a legend, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Jake.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.